Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everybody. Welcome to the brand new debut of Wisdom Transmissions. And of course, this transition between New Earth teachings and Wisdom Transmissions is going to continue over the next couple of weeks. I'm going to be in Mexico next week, so I will not be available for any weekly broadcasts next week. That includes the signposts and that includes Wisdom Transmissions. Okay, so I'll be taking a week off next week. But I may do a video or something. We'll see. We'll see how things go in Mexico if I have some time. Then I'll be coming back the week after, and then everything will be returning back to regular schedule. Now, most importantly is that Wisdom Transmissions today is on Friday, but when I come back the week after next, it's going to be actually on Wednesdays. Okay, and on Wednesdays we're actually going to have Zoom capability as well too. So you guys will actually be able to come onto video, come onto audio, and ask questions face to face with me. That'll be in our second episode, again taking place on the Wednesday after I return, which will be on January 31st. Okay, so January 31st episode will be the second episode, and that will very much be the format of how Wisdom Transmissions. It's called the Wisdom Transmissions Gathering, and basically we're just going to be talking a lot more through Zoom, through video, through audio, just kind of improving and increasing the interaction rather than just doing a bunch of text chat all the time, right? So it feels a lot better to see a person, to hear a person regarding their questions. I've always enjoyed that a lot more. So that's why we're going to integrate that directly into the second episode of Wisdom Transmissions taking place on January 31st at 10 a.m. Pacific time. All right. So we're going to go ahead and get started firstly with some announcements. Here we go.
Source Energy enhanced products to repair and rejuvenate the body. From the power of light to crystals to bed kits, card decks, and more. View our free samples, tutorials, and testimonials on our website, AETHERX.co.
And we also have the promo code here, end of Jan 20, to get 20% off of your order. This is good until the end of day, January 31st. You can also check out our website, AETHERX.co. You can check out our top products here, which is the Source Flashlight, Taurus Bed Kit, and the Healing Code cards, or the AETHERX card decks. So, also, we have a brand new product. I'm not too sure if I have one around here. No, I guess what I can do is I can just kind of point my camera to the brand new product. All right, there you go. This is the wall array, okay? And the wall array you can find on AETHERX.co as well, too, okay? Now, the wall array is a very unique product because it is the first product of its kind that actually works with a Fibonacci sequence astral engine. Okay? Basically, there's an engine contained in the astral dimension that I've programmed directly into every single wall array. And this Fibonacci sequence, I basically call it the astral Fibonacci sequence overlay. But that's a bit of a complex term. You could also just refer to it as an astral engine that uses the Fibonacci sequence. And this has propelled, this has majorly increased, this has majorly expanded, this has majorly intensified, and this has given so much greater potency to the AETHERX technology altogether. So what happens is that the astral engine of the Fibonacci sequence is pulsing and oscillating the imbued energetics contained inside the wall array. Now, this is very similar to if you guys have like a PMF mat, right? Pulsed electromagnetic field or pulsed electromagnetic frequency, how basically the electromagnetic field pulses. And this really helps a lot of people with their organs, helps to rejuvenate yourself. Well, think of it like that, but way stronger, right? These are actually way stronger than PMF mats. So basically being able to use the wall array, we've had some pretty interesting miracles that happened overnight. I have a few of these wall arrays up around the house right now because, again, they are imbued with the source vibrational, source center vibration. They are imbued with the Kundalini healing power. They are imbued with the Schumann resonance, right, the 7.83 hertz baseline. They're imbued with color vibrational healing rays, and they're imbued with crop circle energy. Okay, so we have 5 different qualities here of vibrations contained inside the wall arrays. And I've also programmed that astral engine of the Fibonacci sequence that is basically pulsing and oscillating that field from left to right, up and down, back and forth. And it's all doing that within less than a second, infinitely. And what this has brought forward is that the plants in our place are actually starting to sprout new seeds, new bulbs. Right, my partner was actually just looking at that this morning. She has plants in her office, and I put one of these in there, and her plants are getting a major vitality boost. There's starting to be new seedlings that are starting to sprout. Also here, she also has a type of facial mask that she got. Some were from another healing center, and some were also from Amazon. The ones from Amazon basically were kind of wrinkly and dry, but overnight, basically with the wall arrays, those ones that were wrinkly and dry are now completely free of any wrinkles, and they're actually a lot more moist now. It's really, really incredible. This morning I also had an incredible purging of the digestive system as well too. So I basically woke up. It's kind of like when you wake up in the morning and you got that kind of feeling of bad breath. Well, take that and multiply that by about 10. And it was just like horrible. It felt like I just had gunk in my mouth. It was terrible. But in a way, it was a good way because it was a very, very heavy purging. So these wall arrays have been absolutely incredible. And the good news that I'm happy to report is that all AETHERX products are going to be, in time, receiving this astral engine of the Fibonacci sequence. Okay? When you're basically applying the Fibonacci sequence to technology like this is taking something and it's amplifying it 5 times, 10 times, 15 times, 20 times the norm. On average, when I would measure the fields with AETHERX products, they would be about 5 or 6 feet in radius altogether. Yesterday, I was trying to measure the field that's coming from the oscillation of the wall arrays. And basically, if you go from the edge of my front room right to the edge of my dining room, which are together because it's an open concept space, I have about 30 to 35 feet or so of distance. It was still going strong when I was at the very edge of the wall at 35 feet. So basically, I can't go outside right now because like we're covered in snow. So, and I was still kind of in my pajamas, so to speak. So I was only able to get about at least a 35-foot distance, right? So the wall arrays now are basically radiating at least at a 35-foot distance. That's incredible. That is very close to about 6 or 7 times as much of the field as if you were to not have that. If you're basically just taking the source vibration and all of the other particular vibratory fields, you only get again about an average of 5 to 6 feet. And this has majorly multiplied. So again, in time, I'm going to be applying this to all AETHERX products, right? So the source flashlight will have the Astro Engine. The Taurus bed kit will have the Astro Engine. All the products on the website are going to have the Astro Engine. And that's going to be incredible, right? And then when I start creating the new app that is coming as well too, which is called AETHERX Radiate, which is RAYD8, the Fibonacci sequence is going to be even more powerful. So we have a lot of great stuff to look forward to. Again, if you guys are familiar with the EE systems, right, with again that toroidal system technology, working with computer screens and so forth, I'm actually going to go for another appointment today there. This is basically on par with that because we're actually taking an engine. Even the creator, Dr. Michael, has says that one of her great accomplishments with the technology is being able to work with the Fibonacci sequence. That's like the engine, right? And so we have an invisible engine with AETHERX that's working in the astral plane and is linked directly to the physical anchor of the product item in question. So very, very exciting. So guys, pick up your wall arrays. You are going to have an incredible boost. You're going to have an incredible shift. This is something that will really just turn your entire house into a healing center, right? You get a few of those wall arrays. You put them up on your wall. You can even just put them on your body as well too, because they all work just the same like that. That's totally fine. But you can put them up on your wall, and you're basically just transforming your entire house into a healing center. The power in these items are outstanding. They're incredible. And this is just the download I was getting. Put the Fibonacci sequence in it. Create an astral engine, and let the astral engine just pulse and oscillate the vibrations inside the items. And it's working and it's fantastic. So I urge you guys to try it out, right? Grab yourself a wall array, maybe a few of them, put them around your place. You're going to have an amazing experience. All right. So anyways, I know I was talking a little bit more there, but it was a big announcement. What can I say? Okay, so private sessions are also available. I know, like I said, I'm getting quite a bit of bookings right now. So if you guys do want, like, say, for example, immediate distance healing, you can go to my fiancee Brianne's website. Her website is trinityhomehealing.com. Okay, and she also does distance healing. I've trained her in distance healing, plus she also has her own Reiki experience. And she's also doing tarot readings as well, too. So again, you can check that out, trinityhomehealing.com. She, of course, is also doing her feng shui. So feng shui, tarot readings, and distance healing, those are the three. That's representing Trinity Home Healing. So again, that is her website. Check it out, trinityhomehealing.com. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and get started with today's broadcast. So first and foremost, I'm going to go ahead and take a moment to bring Adronis in. Actually, no, sorry. Before I bring Adronis in, we're going to do a bit of a warm-up exercise. And then I'll bring Adronis in. Then we're going to do some Q&A. Then I'll do, I'm just going to be doing a group healing today, guys, as much as I would love to try and get some personal distance healing going. We really do only have a certain amount of time yet. I think I might take 1 or 2 distance healing requests if it's by donation. Okay, if there's 1 or 2, I'm really going to stick to about 2 maximum today, because I don't really have a lot of time today. So we're probably going to go here for about an hour, and I'll do what I can to try and get as many questions out and to get a couple requests, and then finish with a group healing. Okay, what we're going to do firstly is we're just going to do some breathing exercises. Okay, so number 1 breathing exercise we're going to do is the Rachaka breath, right? So that's where you're breathing into the nose for 4 seconds, and you're breathing out for 8 seconds. Okay, if that's too much for you guys, just breathe in for 3 seconds and breathe out for 6. Okay, so you can either choose 3 and 6, or you can choose 4 and 8. Okay, so just keep your spine nice and straight. Like I said, this is all just nose breathing in and out. Okay, but I'm going to demonstrate the 4 seconds in, 8 seconds out for the Rachaka breath, and then we're going to do some Om chanting, and then I'm going to go ahead and bring Adronis in. Okay, so keeping the spine nice and straight, taking a deep breath in through the nose. 1, 2, 3, 4, and out. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We'll be doing 6 of these. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, and out. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and in. 2, 3, 4, and out. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and in. 2, 3, 4, and out. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and in. 2, 3, 4, and out. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Last one, and in. 2, 3, 4, and out. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and relax. Now we're just going to do 3 Om chants. What I would like you to do is I want you just to concentrate those Om chants directly into the center of the chest, right? So as you're Om chanting, just project that energy right into the center of the chest right here, and just watch it expanding out as you complete the Oms. Okay, so let's go ahead and do that together now. Spine nice and straight. Inhale. Om. Second time. Inhale. Om. Third time. Inhale. Okay, take a moment just feeling that reverberation of the Om vibration flowing from the center of your chest, and just feeling it migrating, going through the top and the bottom of your entire body, going through the limbs, right to the bottom of the feet, right through the edges of the fingers, right to the top of the head. And just breathe that in. And just feel that soft dissipation of light coming out as you breathe out. Very good. Excellent. Okay. So now I'm going to go ahead and take a moment and bring Adronis in, and he's just going to be speaking on a transmission of his own choosing. And then we're going to go ahead and jump right into Q&A, because I know you guys have a couple donation-based questions. That's great. We'll cover those. And like I said, I'm just going to be taking 1 or 2 healing requests today because of the shortage of time. And then if we have some time, I'll see if I can get to a group healing that will finish off this broadcast. Okay? But again, like I said, when I come back from Mexico and start off with the brand new Wisdom Transmissions, the second episode on the Wednesday, we'll have a lot more time. We'll have a lot more time for discussions. We'll have a lot more time for distance healing, and it'll be great. So it's a little bit of a tight schedule today. So my apologies for the tight schedule, but it is what it is, right? Okay, let's go ahead now and bring Adronis in, and we'll get started. Take a glass of water first. Okay, here we go. Terra Soul Star Adronis. We are here. At this time, we bid you greetings, and thank you very much for the opportunity of this interaction today. I'm Adronis of Sirius, sending love, appreciation, and gratitude to all who are tuning in to this broadcast being brought forward through your internet collective consciousness. What we will speak to you in regarding a topic today will be the idea of what you would term as trusting the inner self, trusting your own heart. Now, where you are on the planet, on an evolutionary level, truly is a charging state. Your entire planet is charging at the same time she is discharging. But really where you are right now on the planet is opening yourselves up to all kinds of deep information. Some of this information can be quite profound, and it can accelerate you in many different ways. Other particular forms of information can actually be quite detrimental to you and actually cause much more stagnancy than anything else. And what we would suggest to you is that no matter how much information, no matter how much insight, no matter how much expertise that you are seeing outwards, as long as you favor all of that particular type of information, you're really only just getting a minute portion of elements pertaining to what is actually happening. The key here really is to spend a little bit more time in here, to spend a little bit more time working on yourself, to spend a little bit more time in the state of stillness, silence, and surrender, as we have talked about previously a multitude of times. The reason why this is so important is because you're going to have the natural ability that will unfold within yourself to basically discern what is true from what is not true. You are going to be, in that sense, a powerful discerner. And this will really only come by you getting to know yourself. You see, what happens quite commonly is that many people will have their favorites. They will have their favorite type of teachers. They will have their favorite type of experts. They will have favorite types of professionals that they will tune into. And everything that those teachers, those experts, those professionals talk about, they will basically sing their praises as if it's the gospel. And we do not expect you to follow us in any form, shape, way, or form in that way, thinking that everything that Brad or that Adronis themselves share needs to be the gospel here. Brad shares what he shares because this is what he's here to do. We share what we share because this is what we're here to do. But everything that we say, again, every time we start a transmission, we are saying, we want you to know that everything we share today is simply that of our perspective, our point of view. It is not about us saying that everything that we're about to share is the gospel and is the truth, and you better follow it or else. That would not be the way. We will always bring you perspective. Brad, in regards to what he shares, will always bring you perspective. This perspective is something that can be accepted or rejected. It's something that can be brought into yourself, or it's something that can be left in the corner. And so we would suggest that you take it in the same way to what you term as your teachers, your experts, your professionals, your gurus, etc. Everything simply is perspective. The only truth you will ever know is the truth that you know that resides within yourself. And this is so very important. So whenever you see somebody basically labeling something a certain way and saying, well, this particular thing truly is evil, and this thing here really is, without a shadow of a doubt, corrupt and horrible and evil and bad, and you should never touch it. Be wary in regards to such conversations like that. It's not to say that there aren't some facets like that that may not be too enticing for you, that may not in that sense be of the highest best good for you to look into. But the whole idea is that if you basically term something as evil, as corrupt, as you are shunning it, it really is no more different than a clergyman sitting on top of his podium telling all of you that all of these things represent the devil, and that this is basically summoning demons, and that you're all going to go to hell if you look into these things. This is why many people have left religion, because they basically tried to condemn so many things. They try to condemn these things. And then again, those who consider themselves to be non-religious will do the exact same thing, just in a different way. They will make up their minds about something. And so, well, this bad experience happened to a friend of mine, and so that is horrendously evil. Don't touch it, shun it. And if I see any of you guys going ahead and touching that, I'll never talk to you again. Well, there you go. That's no more different than the clergyman at the podium telling you that you're going to go to hell if you do this. Please be aware of these things. Yes, there are certain facets that can represent, shall we say, distortion, that can represent the idea of foul play. It's not to say that there isn't, but if that's all you're looking at pertaining to a subject, pertaining to a topic, pertaining to some type of circumstance or event, if that's all you're seeing, then again you have abided through an opinion religion. And the opinion religion is telling you, shun that away. It's corrupt. You shouldn't be looking at that. Turn the other way. Otherwise, you're going to go to hell. Please be aware of this. Yes, as we stated, that in front of the scenes, something may not look exactly as it seems. It feels like it could be quite dreadful. It could seem terrifying. It could seem very intense, relating to the corruption that it holds in front of the scenes. But this is why we say that you walk around and you look at it through another vantage point and you see something different that that person was basically condemning could not see. And this is happening quite a bit on your planet. This again is where quite a few human beings come on here because they have quite large followings and supporters, and that what they basically say is being turned out to be the gospel, when that's not the case. It's a perspective. Every single human on your planet has only ever shared perspective. They have never shared the gospel, because the nature of the gospel itself represents the truth that is residing within each and every single one of you. It really can't be shared. It cannot be shared verbally. It can only be known by you getting to know yourself. And this is why you're taking time to work with the inner self, to work with the true heart, so that you're able to discern Oh, wait, this person is saying something, they're condemning something. I just don't think they've looked at the entire thing up, down, left, right, forward, backwards. Right now, they're just looking at it from the front. Well, I'm going to go ahead and look around. Wait, there's a lot more that's being shown here to me that they haven't covered. And that's what you're going to be able to develop within yourself. You're going to be able to look at everything from every vantage point. You're going to be able to know everything from every vantage point by being in here and spending more time in here, getting to know the inner self, getting to know the heart. So we would say simply be wary. When anyone draws a conclusion of thinking that something should be shunned, something should be closed off, something should be condemned, because if you don't, then here's a heavy consequence for you. Always look at that with somewhat of a raised eyebrow and saying, wait a minute, this person's starting to sound like a clergy, like a pastor, like a priest or something in a church, trying to condemn people to hell if they look at something here that they've only seen from the front. Have they looked to the left, to the right, above, below, behind? Nope, not at all. Just at the front. Then that is something that you need to be aware of. And this is helping you to develop such discernment. Your heart will always tell you what the truth is. Your soul is the nature of the truth. And that is what we suggest you take time to tune into by being still, by being silent, and by going into surrender. All right? We thank you very much for the opportunity of this interaction. We will now return to the conduit and begin your question and answer period. Thank you very much. Okay, very good. Very good reminder, guys, because like I said, I've just seen quite a few people like that on YouTube or other places as well too. And they look at something and they think it's horrible. They haven't even bothered to even really have these kind of personal experiences. They basically base it on assumption and innuendo, right? And like I said, if you have not walked the talk, be careful in that sense about what you talk about, okay? And that would go to many people in that sense who feel that they know what's going on. With all due respect, they don't have a clue. Okay, you have to look at this again from every vantage point. And this is what happens, is I'll look into some people that are talking about certain things. I'm not going to mention people. I'm not going to mention the particular topics, but just looking at certain things in that way. And they haven't even bothered to scrutinize it. They say, well, this expert basically said that, and I love that expert, so I'm going to buy exactly on what he says. Well, then basically you're a fool. Right? Because you've been fooled by this idea in regards to thinking that you and the expert are identical. Remember, as I've said, there is no identicalness in life. There is always uniqueness. Each and every single one of you is that unique snowflake, and you will always have your own perspectives. You will always have your own drives. You will always have your own outlooks on life. So again, we have to do our part and just learn to discern when we get these types of situations that unfold in our life. All right. Very good. So let's go ahead now and get started with the Q&A. So I'm just going to scroll up to the top. I'm going to be looking at some donation-based questions first, and then we'll go through the rest of the list based on the time restraints that we have. I'll see if we can go to about 11 o'clock, and then the last 15 minutes we'll do some healing work. Okay? So I have about a half hour now for Q&A. Okay. This is from Life is Magic, SGD $5. Thank you very much, Life is Magic. In Terra Care from Prife International uses terahertz technology. Have read a lot of good reviews of it. Is it a great product to expedite healing? I would have to look up this whole company because I haven't actually heard of them. Terra Care. Okay, so let's see if I can look these guys up real quick and find out what they do from Prife International. Okay. I think what we'll do is we'll probably just do a tarot reading on them. A new revolutionary product in the health and wellness industry. Okay, looks interesting. Terahertz wave frequency is found between far infrared and microwave, with a wavelength of 0.003 mm to 3 mm. Okay, so I'm seeing their product here. Okay, it looks pretty interesting. So I'll go ahead and pull cards on that and just see in that sense about how well their products work. Okay, so We can refer to them as AETHERX, okay, from Prive International, but I'll just call them AETHERX. And we'll get a look at their products and see how things look, integrity-wise, pertaining to what they're offering. I'm glad more of these good products are coming out. People are actually starting to see them a lot more. And if it turns out quite well, well, then that's something else that you could add to the list of things that can help you to heal. Okay? So we'll ask the question, in regards to AETHERX pertaining to their products that they have here, is this beneficial for healing? And does it have a good integrity to it? Does the AETHERX company have a good integrity to themselves? Okay, let's take a look. Like I said, guys, everything I'm sharing is perspective, right? You can always take a look at these things yourself. I'm just giving you a point of view, okay? So let's take a look here. I'm not getting that positive of a reading with these guys, okay? I'm sure that they mean well in that sense, but I think they still need to do a little bit more research on their product, okay? So basically I said it's not as good as people may think it is, okay? And it's nothing against AETHERX. I'm sure they're trying. I'm sure maybe they're doing something, right, that they're trying to make as groundbreaking. It just doesn't feel like it may have the potency it may bring. It may not represent the results that it's trying to bring altogether. They do have good intentions. That's the good news. They are actually quite integral, right? So they do have good integrity to themselves. But I don't think they've perfected this technology good enough just yet, okay? Feels like there's still some drawbacks, right? It just feels like there's still some things. I'm not too sure if everybody can use their technology. I think it still may be sensitive in regards to maybe the type of electricity, not really the type of electricity, but the type of waves, the vibrational waves that perhaps they're using in the technology altogether, the vibratory features of the technology. I think they have to kind of look at things a little bit more deeper, because I think maybe some people could benefit from their technology and some people could not, okay? And I think it may just represent a sensitivity issue. So it feels like this is kind of a drawback here. So I think that they're trying to get something off, which is good. They're trying to get themselves out there, and they want to try and create a good technology that represents helping others to heal, but I'm just not really seeing it, right? I'm feeling that they need to kind of go back to the drawing board and start really evaluating these things a little bit more, okay? I don't think it's there. I think it's going to cause a lot of mixed results, mixed reactions with people, and it's nothing against the company. The company seems really, really good, but I just don't think they're on the right track with this, right? I think that they need to work with this a little bit more. I think there's just some people who are maybe sensitive to EMF, ELF, and I feel like that is not canceling it out too much, okay? So I was really just getting a mixed review with these guys, okay? I think they're a great company. I think they have a lot of integrity, and I think they have a lot of promise and a lot of potential, but they need to really reevaluate their products, okay? And I can't really give them a thumbs up right now. I'm not giving them a thumbs down. I'm giving them like this. It's kind of thumbs in the middle right now. If I was to give it out of 5 stars, maybe about a 2.5, okay? They still need to do a lot of work, okay? And try to work with this a little bit more generally so that they think this could benefit more people. I feel like it's only going to benefit some. Okay, that's kind of what I'm getting. Again, just perspective, just point of view. But that's what I'm getting from what the cards are telling me here about this particular group. Okay? So thank you very much, Life is Magic, for your question. Let's go ahead and move down to Sean. Okay. So Sean is basically having a healing request. So Sean, I will be getting back to you once we get into healing. So you are on reserve. Let's go down the list here a bit more. Okay. Here's one from Babito7. Babito7 says, Adronis, is consciousness the absolute, or is the absolute beyond consciousness? All right, let's take a look at this. We thank you very much, Babito7, for your question. To where you ask, is consciousness beyond the absolute, or is the absolute beyond consciousness? What would you consider the absolute to be? If you could describe the absolute, what would it be? Now, If you could describe consciousness, what would it be? So the whole idea is that you really don't even have two particular definitions pertaining to these. When we look at the nature of absoluteness, it is without beginning, it is without end. It is without any particular type of, shall we say, chronology. It is without linearity, it is without time, it is without space, it is without words, it is without form, it is without image. It is without anything that you are able to conceive through the mind. Now, what is pure consciousness? Well, it is without beginning, it is without end, it has no form, it has no image, it has no words, it has nothing that you could truly conceive of through the mind. So, really, when you're looking at the nature of consciousness, consciousness itself would represent the infinite. Really, when you're looking at the nature of the absolute itself would represent the infinite. Because you have no picture of it. You have no conception of it. You simply have what you would term as absoluteness or totality, which would represent completeness, or again, the infinite nature. You have pure consciousness, which really does not have a form, which does not have anything that can be conceived of through the mind. Therefore, that too represents a totality, represents a completeness. It is the infinite. So, basically, your question is saying, just with two different labels, is the infinite with the infinite, or is the infinite with the infinite? Do you see how we can't describe that through your language? Do you see how we could not use the mind to give you a picture of that? Because there's no picture there. There's no picture of the absolute. There's no picture of pure consciousness. So how could we describe it? The only thing we could really tell you is what it isn't. And it is not anything that you would try to generate or conceive of or perceive of through the mind. Because it is truly beyond all of that. You see? So to go into consciousness, to go into the absolute, you could not go into it. You are it. It is not something that you have to claim. It is not something that you need to venture towards. It is you. It is the nature of yourself, without anything that represents the concept engine representing the nature of mind. So that is something that you would need to dwell on, because you can only really talk about what it is not. You can never really say what it is other than it is the infinite. It is the totality. It is the absoluteness. It is the completion. It simply is consciousness and the absolute. All right? Thank you very much. Okay. Thank you, Babito7, for your question. Let's go ahead and move on. Okay, we have one here from Golden Rule. Golden Rule, thank you for your donation. Golden Rule says, Bride Adronis, how does one access the Akashic Records? Well, I can probably cover this because I do it. Meditation is required. Okay? So basically, in that sense, you have to get out of your own head about what you think the Akashic Records is, because you can't enter there through an ego. Right? Basically, for one who is able to access the records, is able to get that instantaneous flow. Right? That instantaneous flow truly comes from the pulse. Right? It's that impulse that is beyond the mind, that travels through the mind, that therefore gives you all of the insight that you need to therefore look into records. Now, we can call them Akashic Records in that sense. All you're basically looking at, though, is cosmic memory. Right? You're looking at cosmic memory, you're looking at universal memory, and you're keeping yourself still. Right? So whenever I've done Akashic record readings in the past, I've basically just got myself into a quiet state. Right? And I tune out of my own thought stream. Right? So there's Brad's thought stream right here, and basically I put a floodgate on it. Okay? So that floodgate of my own thought stream is gone. And I open myself up to the floodgate of the cosmos, of the universe. I don't call in Adronis to connect with the Akashic Records. It just comes to me, right? And so I basically just listen. I listen to what the flow has to share with me. The floodgates of the cosmos come in, and this information pertaining to cosmic memory, universal memory, the akashic records, etc., comes in. So you have to train yourself, right? This is not something that you can just pick up on the fly, because again, if we're still staying within our ego, your ego is what's obstructing that flow. This really just comes down into the nature of intuition itself. So what you have to learn to do is shut the floodgate representing your own thought stream, your own characteristic stream, everything that represents the attribute of this character, that needs to close. So that another floodgate of a much more grander design opens up, and now you're letting that water, you're letting that liquid, you're letting that flow come into you. It's no more different than how I connect with Adronis, right? Brad, in that way, pertaining to that thought stream, is pushed aside, okay? And Adronis comes in. And what happens is there's a blending. There's a blending coming together through this instrument to where Adronis is coming through, and I'm doing my best to interpret his information. When Adronis is coming through to me, it's not him talking, right? It's his thoughts, it's his impressions, it's his personality, but it's not him speaking English. That's my job to do. So I'm being an interpreter. It's no more different than going across the country where one person doesn't know how to speak your language and you have an interpreter there, and you're able to assimilate all of what's being said and then convey it back. Well, that's basically what's happening. Adronis, in that sense, never speaks English. He would never be able to talk to you in the English language, right? Other than you attempting to convey what's being shared through his own energetics. Well, the same thing goes in regards to the Akashic records, right? You have to learn to speak the language of the universe, and that is the ability to listen, and that is the ability to keep quiet and just let the flow come in, and then the words will form themselves. So when I communicate with Adronis, when I do that transmission, he comes through, and just the natural flow of what I'm able to comprehend through the language that is English is able to come through. The Akashic records is exactly the same. Okay? So you're opening up that floodgate, you're letting the flow come in, you're not concerned if you're accurate, you're not concerned if you're doing this wrong or whatever it may be. Okay, you are in a solid, calm flow, and you're letting the waters of the cosmos come through you and letting it speak through you. Okay, so that's basically what I can tell you, but I can't really sum it up in this way as a teaching, right? We basically have to go into practices. We have to practice together. We have to look into this. I have to get to know your flow. I have to know exactly when you're hesitating, right? And then I can tell you, you're hesitating right there. You're trying to think that this is right. You're trying to think that this is what's trying to be said when it's not, right? And so I would basically work with you and say, get out of your head, get out of your head, get out of your head. Let the flow come in and let the words form themselves, right? It takes practice, it takes work. It's not something that you're going to develop overnight. It took me a couple of years to really get into the Akasha, right? It was a little bit easier for me because I had the background with channeling, right? With channeling work, it makes it a lot easier to go into the Akasha. If you have not come through that particular type of background of doing any kind of intuitive work, inner work, right, transmission work in that way, it's going to be a little more difficult for you. Because what you have to learn to do is get out of your own way. As you get out of your own way, as you close your floodgate, you let the cosmic floodgate in, and you basically have to be symbiotic to it. You are bowing in reverence to the cosmos, being its translator. And it will work with you, absolutely. But you have to train yourself to do it. You have to train yourself to get out of Golden Rule's head and coming into the flow of the cosmos. And now everything can come through you. It's not just the Akashic Records. Guys, Akashic Records is like the lowest part of the bucket. Okay, when you actually start moving a lot more further, you're moving into the nature of universal and cosmic flow, which goes way past the Akashic Records, because you're not only translating this information, you're not only being able to provide healing energies with the Akashic Records, you're embodying yourself as the universe. And that is something that is far more grand than just the Akashic Records, rather than just being a record reader, right? Or a record healer. You can go beyond that, because that's the bottom of the thermostat. You start cranking yourself up, you're going to feel yourself as a cosmic being. You're going to feel yourself as a universal being. And that goes far past Akashic Records. Akashic Records is just the lowest notch on the barometer of things that you can truly move into, of helping you to expand yourself a lot further in being a true cosmic being. Whereas all of this stuff just comes to you just like that, and it's like you're being bestowed the personality of the cosmos within you. And I felt that at times, where I just feel like I have the personality of the cosmos. And anything that comes up, I'll go ahead and look into, right? But it has to translate. It has to basically comprehend through me. If I basically am receiving a word, blah, 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 I have no idea what that means. There's nothing that translates that, right? But if I'm familiar through translation of what that is, then yes, a lot of information can come. But it needs to come through vocabulary. It needs to come through comprehension. It needs to come through understanding. And then you become this natural vessel of the cosmos. You have to know with what these terms you speak of that basically open up a gate so that you can let the flow in. You're not trying to use your own preconceived notions, but you understand the term, you understand the hook, you understand the keyword. So then the flow can come through and start giving you conversational information about it. It's quite magnificent. All right. So Golden Rule, I hope that helps you in regards to accessing the Akashic Records. All right. Okay, I'm just going down this. So I did get a donation here from James, but I don't think. Okay, I think your question is just above your donation here. So James says, "Greetings, Mr. Adronis." You don't have to call him Mr. Okay, he doesn't really work with formal titles. He'll probably make fun of you if you try to speak to him formally. So, so how about we just say, "Greetings, Adronis. I would like to learn why does one, especially the male in our society, are losing their hair. More precisely, what is alopecia? Can it be cured or reversed? If so, illuminate us humans." Okay. So basically, it's a question about can we cure male pattern baldness? Okay. In that way, I mean, certainly my situation as well too. Okay. So is that something that we have to stick with? Is that something that, again, is something that can be reversed in that way? So I'm kind of cleaning up your question a little bit here for Adronis. Okay. So let me just give me a moment here, and I'll bring Adronis in, and he can comment on this. One moment. We thank you very much for your question, James, and hello to you, Mr. Now, looking into your question about the nature of male pattern baldness, while this is not always the case, there are actually women that do have pattern baldness as well, too. All right? It is not something that is just affecting your males. In fact, women will discover that their hair may start to thin. In fact, women in that sense may also have certain types of pattern baldness as well. It's not as common as within the male, but it certainly does happen. And what happens in that way is that you're basically creating too much heat in the body. You have too much hot prana. And you're taking that prana and you're escalating it towards everything that represents your daily tasks, your daily duties. So basically what happens is that you move yourself into situations and you hold a certain mentality and attitude where the heat of the body is escalating to the degree that is causing a great deal of, shall we say, over-processing together throughout your instrument. And that as a fail-safe, there will be certain hairs on your head that contain essential proteins, helping to balance out the intense heat contained within the body. And so the pattern baldness is often an occurrence that takes place relating to, in that sense, certain archetypes, certain body types that do run very, very hot in regards to their interplay with life. The prana gets too hot. The energy within your body is seeming. You get too much heat. Everything is overthinking. Everything is externalized. Everything is being taken on all at once. And that basically causes an overage in the heat of prana within your body to where the nature of male pattern baldness that can come in different patterns can take place. Now, Adronis, is it possible for us to reverse this? Is it possible for us to have hair once again? Yes, if you know how to work together with those proteins, essentially. When you are giving your body those essential proteins, those amino acids to which it requires, and you learn to soothe a lot more of that internal heat that flares up a great deal, over time you may start to get a little bit more and more hair returning. Doesn't mean you'll get the total amount back, but you may start to notice certain forms of improvement altogether. It does require a greater deal of self-care. All right, so amino acid formulas are something that can help you, because again, that's why your body is starved for that, because it's burning up so much of the resources altogether. Minerals are in decline, amino acids are in decline, essential proteins are in decline for the body when it is going into this incredible heated up state pertaining to its own energy. If that is able to be supplied, often through supplementation, and also if the individual themselves is now starting to move much more into a natural meditative state, cooling themselves a lot more, hair itself can be regenerated. All right? So again, this, like we said, also can happen to women. A lot of them in that sense become a lot more emotional. And with the great emotions that they are taking on, this is also creating great heat in the body. And so it will start off that there may be some gray hairs, there may be some thinning hairs, and then some hair will start to fall out. This can also happen in regards to improper overages of certain vitamins that they should not be taking, that they feel that they should be taking. This can also happen to males as well. So there are several different occurrences that can happen, but really what it leads to all in all is too much heat in the body that is gulping up too many resources within the body to which the body cannot keep up and needs to go into emergency mode, utilizing certain proteins, amino acids as backups, again often found within hair strands, to be utilized to keep the body stable. And if this continues to happen each and every single day, week after week, month after month, year after year, the hair is going to go. And that's the nature of the pattern altogether. So it's learning to keep the heat in check. It's learning to keep your life force energy balanced. It's learning to make sure that you are giving your body the appropriate nutrition it requires so that your hair, in that sense, does not need to fall out. It can be regenerated, but regenerated to a certain degree based on how well you are able to upkeep yourself. It just needs much more voltage. You need to bring more voltage into the body. Because what happens is you wear yourself out with all of these tasks, with your mentality, with how you react to things. You're burning out a lot of voltage by doing that because of the intense heat in your body. When you start increasing the nature of voltage within your body by working with your breath, by eating well, by giving yourself the appropriate nutritions, by working together with your own personal magnetism and the magnetism of the environment, you can help to heal this. But it is something that requires, in that sense, a great amount of dedication, commitment, discipline, and realization of what you're doing with a willingness to change. And such things can be reversed depending on you and how far you're willing to go. All right? We thank you for your question. Okay, well, that's very interesting. That's very good. So I think other people have talked to Adronis about baldness before, right? Because we men are just so passionate about our hair. Women too, of course. And they're always asking, well, how can I reverse it? Well, the whole reason why it's been burning out is because you burned yourself out. You're taking out all the voltage. You're getting way too much heat in your body, and it's causing a disruption. And the body has to basically go into its fail-safes with the hair and other means to try and compensate and to try to stabilize the body because you're just too out of control, right? So again, voltage really is the key. Eating well, exercising, meditating, building up your magnetism, bringing in the magnetism of the environment, right? There's something, again, like with what AETHERX is doing, because that's giving you magnetism, right? That's giving you all of the essential life force energy that you need so that your body can heal. And it is certainly possible to restore hair growth through AETHERX, right? It certainly is possible to restore hair growth when you have a powerful antenna even within yourself or within your environment, that is feeding you that energy constantly. And things can be rebirthed. People can basically reverse their gray hair. Their gray hair can now start turn back into their natural color because it's been devoid of that integrity, because we have not known how to operate our body properly. We're starving with nutrients, we're starving with amino acids, we're starving with all of the essential resources that the body needs, and it needs to take it from other parts of the body that does have that in great supply. Your hair is full of vitality. It's an antenna, right? So again, if it requires that, it will take it. And that is where pattern baldness can happen, because the continuation of all of that intense heat that's gulping up the resources of your body is usurping it tremendously. So we need to build it back, right? Whatever you're taking, if you expect to get it back, you have to give back, right? That's the whole idea. You got to give back to your body rather than just taking. And that's what leads to not only problems with the hair, but with viruses, with bacteria, right? With toxins, with pathogens. All of that happens at the same time. We burn ourselves up, we run ourselves dry, we're being usurped of this energy either through ourselves, through our environment, through dirty technology, etc. And we just collapse, right? We're just exhausted. And the body needs to try and keep up. Okay, I got to sacrifice some of these hair strands because there's a lot of vitality in those, and I need to bring this back into the body to try and stabilize these things. That's exactly what can happen. Okay, that's the true science, my friends. But yes, we can certainly reverse it as long as we're giving that supply of magnetism, of charge for the body to give it what it needs so that it can replenish itself without fearing that it's going to get burnt out again through our intense heat with too much prana in the body, too much hot prana, I should say, in the body. Okay, so hopefully that helps, James. Thank you for your question. Okay, that's it for the donation-based questions. We got about 2 minutes here, so let's see if I can take one quick question here. And then we're going to go into healing. So I'm going to be working with Sean here in just a moment for his request. Okay, this one here is from Ashley Hall. Ashley says, question, hi Brad, continuing with the exploration of the Pleiades, can you give us insight about the star Asterope and what type of beings inhabit there? Okay, so I'll try not to bring this to Adronis because a long time ago I did one called The History of the Pleiades. That was going all the way back into 2012. That was me experimenting with conscious matrix communication quite a bit, because that was, like I said, it was basically opening up the floodgates and bringing them in. Now, basically, if you're looking at Starope or Asterope in that sense, it's not really physical, right? We don't really have any physical beings that we could look at. Not really by me saying not physical beings, not really beings that reside in a coherent dimension with us. A lot more of them would be a lot more luminous. Okay, so it represents a very high vibratory charged star system, kind of like a star of the star of Sirius A, right? It is also a highly charged star system. Starope also represents that. So the best way to put it would be looking at luminous divine masters, in the best way I could put it. There are cities, there are crystalline cities. It's kind of like, it's not looking at the star system that we would understand a star system to be. Everything feels linked together. Everything feels corded. Everything, again, feels very non-physical, but it's like looking at these energetic streams coming through. And if there's manifestation of form, it's all based upon the state of intent. So a lot of it would represent highly capable, masterful beings that are truly able to present themselves in some forms should they choose to, but much more in regards to their nature is much more malleable, right? So again, we don't really have an exact form to call them other than the idea of streams of energy or streams of light, right? And that's what I'm getting the impression of as I look into Starope, okay? So something that represents a much more high vibratory magnetism of a star containing certain worlds, but they're all interconnected in a type of streaming energetic web. Okay, that's the impression I'm getting for that. Thank you for your question. Okay, guys, let's go ahead now and move on into healing requests. So I do have one here from Sean. So Sean says, I welcome your healing for a very sore throat and upset digestive system I've been experiencing for the last 2 weeks. Okay, so problem with the throat, problem with the digestive, so again, it's all connected, right? So we basically want to look into your stomach, we want to look into your intestines, and then it moves up to the throat. Okay, if there's problems down here, guys, in the belly, it's going to move up here, and then it's going to move up here. Okay, it all just moves upwards. So Sean, you need to take better care of your intestinal tracts. You need to take better care of your small and your large intestines. I'd probably recommend doing colon cleansing for yourself. Okay, getting a lot of that gunk out of your system, out of the bowels. Okay, so I will go ahead and do a healing work for the intestines, the digestive system, the stomach, the throat. Okay, I'll also be working around the brain, spinal cord, and nervous system for you. Okay, so just get yourself nice and relaxed. Take a deep breath in, deep breath out, and we'll go ahead and we'll begin. Okay, Sean. So between now and the next 24 hours, you're going to notice intense oscillations taking place within your body. Do not be alarmed by this, because this is all part of the energetics that I've placed into your system. Source-centered vibration, Schumann resonance, Kundalini healing power, and the green vibratory ray color, which helps with disinfecting, and purification. Okay, so they're basically going to be pulsating and oscillating, working with the engine. Okay, working with the Fibonacci sequence. Okay, and basically they're streaming at Fibonacci sequence speeds under less than a second. Okay, and it's going to continue to work like that for 24 hours. After 24 hours, the Fibonacci sequence engine will start to die down, and the source center vibration, the Kundalini healing power, the Schumann resonance, and the green vibratory ray will remain in those particular areas of the body until the entire conditions themselves are subsided. Okay, so again, next 24 hours may be kind of intense. Drink lots of water, take a sea salt bath. Okay, that's basically what I'm telling a lot of people who are working with AETHERX, right? Make sure you're drinking lots of water, you're doing some pranayama breath work, right? So deep exhales, cleansing that toxins from your system. Guys, we really have to remember the importance of pranayama. Pranayama is responsible for expelling 70% of toxins out of your body when you start doing the deep exhaling cleansing breaths. So Sean, I would like you to look at one of my new videos on the YouTube channel called 3 Pranayama Exercises for Optimal Health. Okay, and that teaches you the 3. That teaches you the Rachaka, that teaches you the Kand, and that teaches you the Kakashuti pranayama. Okay, and those are very powerful breaths that you can work with, helping to expel a lot of toxins out of the body. Okay, there's even some other ones, more powerful ones, but I'll be getting to that in a part 2 video. Okay, so work with your breath, drink some water, give yourself a sea salt bath. Okay, whether it's sea salt, Himalayan crystal salt, Dead Sea salt, anything of that nature. Okay, just getting the sea salt preference or the Himalayan salt preference, and getting about 1 to 2 cups of that, pouring it in a bath, and soaking in it for about 10, 20, 30 minutes. Okay? Thank you very much for your request. Appreciate it. Okay, we're going to do one more distance healing request, and then we're going to go into a group healing. So let me just go down the list here. Okay, this one here is from Barbara. Barbara says, "Can I put my son Tony on the healing list? He is in the med in Memphis, Tennessee, had a car wreck and broke L1 in the spine. Okay. Yes, we can certainly work on Tony. Barbara, and if you want to send some loving energies to him in the background, anybody else who wants to as well too can certainly do that. So I will work on Tony, specifically on the L1. I'm basically just going to be working on the entirety of his spine in general, but I will focus on L1 altogether. Okay. So like I said, if anybody else also wants to join in, you guys are welcome to join in. It's always beneficial if other people are also sending them a lot of healing energy. Okay. So I'm just having a little table here, just looking exactly where L1 is. Okay, I can see it here. All right, and I will go ahead and work on Tony. So I'm going to be oscillating the Fibonacci sequence engine into him as well too, to help with healing his entire spine. Right, or like I said, not healing his spine, giving him all of the energy he needs so that his body can heal himself. Right. So, pardon the lingo. All right. So L1. All right. So we'll go ahead now and begin. Okay, so I basically put those similar kind of frequencies, just like I did earlier with Sean, for Tony. Okay, only instead of the green vibration, we're working with the blue and the violet vibrations, because that will help to soothe any pain. That also helps to rebuild tissue. Okay, so again, he may start to feel some intensities of energy between now and the next 24 hours. If you can visit him, or if you can talk to him, just let him know. Try and get as much water into him as possible. I know if he's in a medical facility, he may not be able to have access to a bath, but maybe he can start working on some breath work as well too. That could help him as well. But if anything, just try and get him to drink lots of water, right? And just continue to put your good, loving intentions into him, right? Seeing him recover, because this will continue to work with him. Basically, the Fibonacci sequence just works for 24 hours. After 24 hours, it subsides, and then just the remaining energetics that are there will continue to work with him on a subtle level to help in his recovery altogether. All right? Blessings to him, blessings to you. Thank you very much. Okay. All right, guys, we're running short on time here, so we're going to do a very quick group healing together. Okay? So, I know that there's another donation here, guys, but we're pretty much short on time right now. Okay? So, Teresa, what I'd like you to do, if by chance the group healing is not assisting you with your issue, then what I'd like you to do is just drop me an email later. Okay? I want you just to go to newearthteachings.com, go to the contact page and say, hey, Brad, it's Teresa here. I donated $20 from you. I had the sciatic nerve pain. I did the group healing, but I feel I could use a little bit more. Okay? Then just drop that email with me. When I have some time, if I have some time tonight or tomorrow, I'll see if I can do some work on you. Okay? But try and do the group healing here with me. Let me know if that's helping you a little bit more. If not, you can email me. Again, newearthteachings.com. and go to the contact page. Okay, so please, no more donations, guys. I'm very much out of time here. Okay, so I'm going to try and do this very, very quickly. So we're going to do the forgiveness ball technique, as I was talking about before. Okay, so very, very simple here. Spine nice and straight, placing your hands together, rubbing them together, just for 10 seconds. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, so with your hands in prayer posture, I want you to be aware of something within your body that you're ready to let go of, whether it's physical, whether it's emotional, whether it's mental. Okay, so I want you just to breathe in, breathe out, get yourself into that calm state. Make the exhale a little bit longer than the inhale. Breathe in, breathe out, making the exhale longer. One more time, inhale. Exhale a little longer. Now I want you just to start opening up your hands like there's a chi ball, an energy ball, in between your hands. And I want you to place whatever that physical, mental, emotional conflict is. Just like you could put it into a bubble, like a soap bubble, and you're just watching it float directly into your energy ball. Okay? And you're seeing it being put in place in the energy ball. I want you just to continue to breathe in, make the exhale a little bit longer. As you finish the exhale, you're making the energy ball here bigger. Okay? So you're making it about the size, I would say about just past the chest. Okay? As you start to make it just past the chest, we're now just going to reverse direction. Okay? As you're reversing direction, I want you just to say the word forgiveness. Right? Call upon Spirit, call upon your angels, call upon the divine forces, call upon your loved ones if you need to, just as you're saying the word forgiveness. And again, forgiveness. And again, forgiveness. And again, forgiveness. And again, forgiveness. Just saying it again and again and again. And you're noticing a change happens as the hands come together once again into prayer posture. Once they come back into prayer posture, you're just going to open up your hands and give all of that energy to the cosmos, right? So what you're doing is you're giving room to put that problem, that conflict, in the energy ball, and then you're basically bringing in forgiveness to shrink that problem. That problem is being shrunk and shrunk and shrunk and shrunk and shrunk so that your hands are in prayer posture. Once they are there, give a blessing. I'm giving this to God. I'm giving this to Spirit. I'm letting it go. I'm relinquishing it. Right? Forgiveness. Okay? And it just gets absorbed by the light. Okay? And I want you guys just to give yourself 24 hours. Okay? 24 hours afterwards, just tune in with yourself. That situation I had that I was able to do the forgiveness ball with, is it still there? Okay? Ask yourself that question after 24 hours. All right? Thank you guys for joining me for the very first episode of Wisdom Transmissions. Again, I will not have a broadcast next week. That includes the signposts and, of course, the Wisdom Transmissions. But again, I'll be returning on the 31st, on the Wednesday, for the second episode of Wisdom Transmissions. So thank you for joining me today. Blessings to you all, and I'll talk to you again in about 2 weeks. Take care, namaskar, and may it be well with you. Bye for now. Thank you so much for tuning in to New Earth Teachings on YouTube. Don't forget to check out our websites, newearthteachings.com, where you can do private sessions with me, and also AETHERX.co. And through AETHERX, you'll be able to pick up your Healing Code Cards body deck, your mind deck, and your energy deck through AETHERX. You will also be able to pick up the Etherbed kit. That is also on AETHERX as well. Not to mention that you'll also be able to pick up some apparel and accessories that is also available on AETHERX. Thank you so much for tuning into this video, and I look forward to speaking to you in the next one. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti, Namaskar, and may it be well with you.